What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald Kabang. From WagerTalk. Man, I'm not even used to it. From WagerTalk.com at Youcapper Sports on Twitter. Got my guy Chris B. Capping here with me today. I know we talked about yesterday the Lakers a little bit, but we'll talk about it a little bit again today. See if we have any different angles to bring up. But Chris, I think we kind of nailed. I mean, a lot of us in our chat nailed the Celtics game. What did you take yesterday? How'd you do?
Yeah, so I mean, you called it. The Celtics were the home team that lost game one, and you just want to kind of jump on that team, complacency versus desperation.
Yeah,
So first half full game is what I took the 4.5 and I think it was a 4.5 or 3.5, and then I also took full game when it was minus 8.5. And you see money come in on Boston. I mean on
yeah,
Philly to like kind of close the day, and the line got shorter. I put it in the chat. I was like, "Yo, why is the line getting shorter?" And you were
yeah,
like, yeah, probably just a confirmation of Embiid playing. I was like, cool. So yeah, and then Boston kind of they to me what I think it was. I see not to go too long into like a recap or anything, but to me what I think we talk about Boston needing to get punched first.
yeah,
They just play with the level of that defensive intensity that we know that they're capable of. I think we saw that yesterday from Boston. They have that potential to play like that all the time, like
yeah,
really lock in, and that's what we saw last year when they were, fighting the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and same thing with the Miami Heat. But they don't bring that all the time. And yesterday
yeah.
we talked. I know you
It's
you you
weird that
gave
it's weird how that is though
you,
too.
you
Like
gave
it,
a pivot. So you said, maybe if you don't want to avoid the spread, if you want to avoid the spread, you just take Philly team total under. And it
yeah,
was low. It was only like 105.5. They just gave up 130. So to
yeah,
have
yeah,
confidence, like, in that, shout out to you, RC. And Boston did what they were supposed to do yesterday. They
yeah,
crushed it. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that team total under was a solid look there. I mean, you just think about it. The if you think about how they played them in the regular season with Embiid versus how they played them in game one, where Embiid was not on the court, it was so different. You think about the last few years and how the Celtics maneuver through building their roster, right? They built their roster to not only built them around like Brown and Tatum, but they also built their roster to defend players like Giannis and Embiid. They knew that's their path to victory is to defend those guys. So when one of those guys is out, it kind of messes up their rotation. It messes up their flow of how they typically play. So that's what happens. It's not like Philly is better without Embiid. That's not the case at all. It's just that Boston matches up well when Embiid is on the court because that's what they did. They built the roster around defending their top player. So like there's a lot of conversation about that, and that's kind of like my take about it is the Sixers are definitely not better without Embiid. That's not the case at all. Well, we cashed yesterday. I think personally, I took the trifecta. We talked about that. We talked about the full game under as well. The team total under on the Sixers side. We really called that all from majority of the angles that we looked at. But today, it's a similar situation, Chris. We're seeing the Warriors in a very, very similar situation. But I'm gonna come up and bring the screen up, but go ahead and start talking about the Warriors game here.
Yeah, like you said, RC, real similar situation. I think, if we want to get into if we want to just look at it from a broad perspective, you got you look at some of the trends. You got the home team again coming off a loss, super, desperation spot versus super highly motivated spot with the Golden State Warriors tonight. The one thing I think that's a little bit different, RC, between yesterday and today, when we think about the differences, is that Golden State, we know about their road woes, right? In round one, they did, kind of they took some of those away. They did go into Sacramento and win game 5 and win game 7 on the road. But this team continues to struggle on the road, like they're not the greatest team on the road. And I think that's even more of a sense of desperation because you don't want to go to LA, down 0-2. No home favorite wants to lose both games in the first two, in the first round, I see. So I think that's something to kind of take into consideration. I know me and you talked about this yesterday from a matchup and a player perspective.
Yeah,
AD and Braun play heavy minutes in game one. And then you listen to the post-game interview, I see AD came out and said, like, our mission was to come in here and steal game one. Like, we wanted this game by all means necessary.
yep,
Me and you talked about that last week because I told you that I like the Lakers in game one
yeah,
because the Lakers were the more rested team. So
yep,
in my estimation, I see last Friday when Golden State lost at home to Sacramento in game 6, that's when they also lost game one to the Lakers as well. Because having to travel, even though it's a short flight, I mean a short trip, I think they took the bus to Sacramento. It's still so much mental preparation that goes into a game seven, and it's exhausting, right? So
Yeah.
now you get equal rest. Coach Kerr has never lost. I think he still hasn't lost a series against the Western Conference team since he's been there, which is crazy. I see. What that speaks to me is like how well he adjusts, right? Like because you're not always gonna have the right schemes, have the right players in, whatever the case might be. So I think he adjusts today. I think Golden State wins this game, even though I'm a diehard Laker fan. I think they win the game, and I think they cover it pretty nicely. We also looked at a lot of trends yesterday to kind of back up this a little bit more. But that's how I kind of see the game going today. I see.
Yeah, we talked about just real quick. We talked about that trend of in game two of a series, a playoff series. Home favorites coming off of a home favorite loss, and this goes back beyond 2018. But I'm gonna stick to 2018 just because it's more like modern basketball, right? Like with the three ball being more apparent for most teams. 19-4 straight up, 18-5 against the spread. We see it's been on a really strong run here in more recent years, and this one here they didn't cover. The Knicks didn't cover the closing line, but they did close. They did cover the opening line, which was, I believe, 5.5 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. So they did end up covering the opening line there. But the other piece of it too is the Warriors at home. What did we look at yesterday, Chris? When we were like, oh damn, that's a crazy ass trend. Was it on the Warriors side?
Yeah, it was. We looked at a couple of things. I see. One of the first things I think we looked at was the Warriors off a loss. I think it's just a loss. I don't know if it's necessarily a home loss. I know it's at home. So we looked at that, but then you can take that career back, as far as you want to. I see,
Yeah.
like because in the Kerr, Draymond, Clay, Kerr dynasty era, this team is just they've done really really well.
Mhm.
One of the things we looked at in this spot was them off a loss
Mhm.
after the All Star break. I put this in
Oh,
the
that's
chat
what it was
last night.
after the All-Star
Yeah,
break.
after
Yeah.
the All Star break because they were fighting to stay out of the play in, right, and potentially make the playoffs. So that was one of the things we looked at. Previous loss and home. I think they're 5-0 in that spot, straight up
Yeah.
and against the spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one.
And then the Lakers, didn't we see something on the Lakers side as well? Oh,
Uh,
this was the playoff games too, right? The one against the Kings.
yeah, yep. It was the playoff one against the Kings. Let's see. I think I got a couple more. I see them off. Let's see. So this one, I know we talked about the total.
Yeah.
I'll wait until you get done, but I got
No, go
another
ahead,
one
go ahead.
too. So if you want to look at the era, like you can go back to 2000. So season greater than or equal 2013 in the playoffs, and team equals Warriors, and previous loss, and their home. So it's just kind of what we talked about already. Just go back a little bit farther. This is when their defense really, kind of comes into play, and you can see the plethora of unders in there. So
Yeah.
even though the Lakers have been, scoring, I think like we talked about, you just see a little complacency today. Just because that's the nature of the beast. I see you still won, you feel good about yourself. No team is
Yeah.
really trying to go in and still two.
Yeah, we talked yesterday. We talked about how like it's a matchup between two different type of styles, right? And with the zigzag, we're expecting the Warriors to adjust, but the Lakers they feel like they would be more, I guess, content. They already stole game one, right? We saw AD and LeBron put up 40 plus minutes each. I think I feel like in this scenario here, if the Warriors start out strong, which I hope they do, and the Lakers are down maybe in the third quarter pretty handily, we're probably going to see same situation like we saw yesterday, where the starters on the Lakers side not really play in the fourth quarter and pretty much rest up because they already gained home court advantage, right? They already gained home court advantage. So going back home, they're probably gonna to rest up and get ready for those and try to take the two at home. Yeah, that's the kind of the way that I'm looking at it. But from a total perspective, do you see anything as far as I know you mentioned this one on the total, but do you see anything that kind of points you towards more Lakers team total under instead the
So
opposing?
this is
Because what if the Warriors just ball the fuck out and score like 120, right? and they push them. They push over the total of the full game. Would you think? Would you think it would be smarter to take the Lakers team total under instead?
I think the Lakers team total. So I would probably go half unit on both, RC, because I think even if the Lakers, I think even if Golden State does ball out, it could be one of those games where it could get out of hand. But the crazy thing with that, RC, if you go back and look at the trend that you just had up, the first one we started with, I think those games still go under a little bit more than they go over. Yesterday was a prime example, right? I think you talked about the under yesterday, RC.
Yeah,
The Celtics scored like 120 points yesterday, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that game still went under. So
Yeah,
it could be a very, very similar situation today where, like you said, it's not, people are like, man, the Lakers not gonna score 87 points. I get it, right? But you already brought this up, RC. If they put the bench in, right, then it could be a thing where, you just kind of slow the game down, and they're already getting the plane ready. You know what I mean? Trying to
yeah,
trying to warm up the seats so they can get on the plane, and you just got the bench in there, and you end up not scoring that many points. So I would definitely stay off Laker overs today, especially some of these high numbers, 80 points, Braun points,
yeah,
even some of their rebounds, because these guys probably won't play, a large amount of minutes today. I see if this game gets out of hand. So props can go up in the flames in a game like this for sure. And I would
yeah.
I would
Would
still
you?
probably look towards both. I would just play both. Or see, like I said, I think the full game still goes under, and I think the Lakers
Makes
don't
sense.
hit that 110 either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the 110 seems like a lot. I think me and Jay was talking about the under team total in the first quarter as well. If we think that the Warriors come out pretty strong here, both offensively and defensively, that might be the way to go too. Is that under in the first quarter? I took the first. I gave that out as far as one of my premium plays is the first quarter under 58 and a half. Like, we talked about it yesterday. A lot of things pointed towards that first quarter under for game 1, 2. And if it wasn't for that last two minutes of that first quarter, like it was trending under pretty easily, but they scored 16 points in the last 2 minutes, and then ended up going over the closing first quarter total by a point and a half. I'm gonna go. I went back with it again today. I think that under first quarter is the way to go. Um,
I played the spread, RC. I played the
on
spread.
the
I think it
Warriors,
correlates. Yeah, I think it correlates really, really well.
yeah,
I gave out the spread, the first quarter spread and first half spread. Yesterday, I talked to you about the 2-leg money line parlay, and that's what I gave my YouTube members.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Boston, like neither one of these home teams to go down 0-2. So today, I just went a little bit lighter. The only quarter unit plays for me, but I took the first quarter and first half, -1.5 and a -3.5 for Golden State,
Yeah.
because I think that they punch first, and I think if you see the complacency with the Lakers, so I think this is important to say as well. I see the Lakers start and finish with Anthony Davis, right? Like they go as he goes. And
Mm-hmm.
if you go back and look at game 2, because the Lakers stole game 1 in Memphis in the last series, and you go
Yeah.
back and look at game 4, game 5, those were the games that Anthony Davis didn't play extremely well in, RC. So, if he's not going to be hitting those outside jumpers, I think he started 9 for 10 in the last game. And I
Yeah.
do think that, Kerr makes some adjustment. I don't know if it's going to be personnel wise, like bringing in a Jonathan Kuminga, or
Yeah.
if it's just going to be zone, and try to get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat you. But I do think that we see some aggression from Anthony Davis as far as his aggression in this game. And
Yeah.
I would take the Lakers team total. They only scored 19, RC, in game 2 against against the Memphis Grizzlies in the second game last series. So I think that's a really nice play. I think the spread or the spread or the team total under for the Lakers could absolutely be in play. And if they have another 19-point quarter, I see that you could hit the trifecta on the Lakers to go under their team total for the full game with 1 quarter early. I think that's what we saw yesterday in Philly, right? Like Philly never could score. Like it was never in
Yeah.
jeopardy of them, getting to that 104 points, even though their total was so low because they had like 19 points, 20 points at the end of the first quarter, and then it kind of
Exactly.
kills it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think I mean, I don't know how much else we could talk about this game, but I feel like we covered it pretty well today, yesterday and today. But did you anything as far as like official plays for this game specifically change from yesterday?
No,
Or
the only thing I added, RC, was 2 props. I added Anthony Davis under 42 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. And then I also added Wiggins to go over his 25 and a half points, rebounds, and assists.
I
And
like that.
and
Yeah.
my assessment on Wiggins is just that I feel like he has to be able to do more. He has to hold Bron a little bit more
What was
accountable
that
as
number
well.
again?
25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And it's minus 110, so it's not really juiced on most books.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he does more, RC, from my perspective. I think his 3-point prop is only 1.5. I can see him going over that number
Mm-hmm.
because, Jordan Poole, Steph, and Clay all hit 6 threes apiece last game. So I
Yeah.
think he steps it up just a tad bit more today. And he gets a few more rebounds because the Lakers will probably miss a few more of those shots.
With
I also
Wiggins,
think he
dude,
scores.
one thing with to add with Wiggins too, I expect him to attack the paint a little bit more. We talked
Got
about
to
the
put the
Lakers.
pressure on
Yeah,
AD.
we talked about the
Mhm.
Lakers only shooting 6 free throws. I mean, the Warriors only shooting 6 free throws in game one. The biggest adjustment in my book would be attacking the paint more for this Warriors team. And if that happens, there's a chance that the Lakers can get into foul trouble early, especially AD. So that's another reason why I like that AD underlook from the PRA perspective.
Yeah, I see Alex in the chat real quick. So he said, "I don't know about PRA about Davis. I like under on his points." The thing I think a lot of people probably don't take into consideration when they think about a PRA going under is that PRA is like it has to encompass everything, right? So one of the I think the biggest part you mentioned it already, I see, and I talked about it as well. If he's not playing, 40 plus minutes in this game because it potentially is a blowout, Darvin Ham's probably going to yank him, and he
Hmm.
doesn't get back on the floor. So you're looking for 4 quarters worth of stats, and he could potentially only play 3 tonight. And we saw that yesterday. I was on the wrong side of that with my guy PJ Tucker prop that I gave out yesterday, RC, because he finished with 9, right? And I took
Yeah,
him at I took him at 9.5. He didn't play the fourth quarter, but if he plays the fourth quarter, pretty sure he gets at least 1 rebound, at least 1 assist, at least 1 point. And that's correlation. Anthony Davis is stayed under this 42.5 points, rebounds, and assists in every game that coming off a win. Where they didn't steal a game that wasn't at crypto.com. I see.
it could
And you
be
can see
that
the points as well.
recency bias, right?
Mm-hmm.
Recency bias says that most people are going to take that over.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see it just like in more recent games or like through that whole first series there. I mean, how many times did he go over? One, two, and then the next game he went under. So I just feel like that's how it is in the playoffs. That zigzag is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It is just crazy because teams got to adjust from game to game, and the other team tend to look at like, oh well, it worked this time, let's do it again, right? But the other team is like, all right, well, this shit didn't work, now we got to change it up. So that's pretty much the premise of zigzag, right? And that's why it works that way, and that's kind of what we're gonna probably what we may see today, in my opinion. And that
Yeah.
works with player props too. I mean, because you especially the key players because they're gonna attack those guys.
And those high numbers too, I see those
Yeah.
inflated numbers. I think I trust AD to be inconsistent because he has been after still in the game. I trust that there's potential for him not to play his full allotment of minutes today, and I
Yeah.
also trust Coach Steve Kerr to not let AD kill him. In his team 2 games in a row. Like they'll make some kind of adjustment, even
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
Braun that had a big game.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the way I kind of think about that.
I like it. I like both of those. I do. That makes a lot of sense. Let's go on to we talked about the NBA game, but let's talk to let's do baseball today. There's not a lot of games to work with, but I pulled up the Braves and the Marlins here real quick. Just a heads up. So I've been working on a regression model the last couple weeks and finally got it to start testing early this month. The first of the month, I think, was the first day I started doing testing, but I created a regression model based off of like the starting pitcher and the team's um, batting positive and negative regression like outcomes. And this is what I've come up with. So basically, I just have a score rating for each. The pitch rating would be the starting pitcher here. The bat rating would be the team batting, not a specific batter or anything like that, or whether it's against like a left-handed or right-handed pitcher. Just in general, just the team batting numbers. I took some advanced key like statistics that I could see where it would allow me to see if there's positive or negative regression coming, and then I created a score off of it, and then I would create a like a margin, the difference between the two teams, and I just been kind of tracking that. The four bat rating I noticed has when I expect a team to expect a team to get some positive regression from a batting perspective, with a 4 score or more. I think actually 4 might be the highest. They've been going over their team total at a high rate since I started testing. And then you can see here the wider the gap between the rating, positive regression, it's been doing well. It's been pretty profitable to start this testing, and then obviously the lower the number, the worse the rating is or the record is. But that's something that I've been kind of going through and testing with a regression model. I think I'm gonna give it another week or two and then start, using that a little bit more on the show here. But so far, it's been pretty profitable. Today, it actually backs the Braves pretty highly. They expect the bats to go off, and they expect Dodd to have some positive regression. He had a really bad start against the Padres recently, but previous to that, he looked pretty good, and I think that's one thing that it looks at as far as when we talk about regression, right? And if we look at here we go to Dodd. So we go to Fangraphs. I use Fangraphs to look at pitching stats. I like how they lay their stuff out. So we go Dodd here. If we look throughout his career compared to what we see this season, his K rate is a lot lower. Oh shit, is that really small? That looks really small.
Yeah, zoom in a little bit. I see. Yeah, that's good. That's
All
better.
right, so his K rate is nearly half of what his normal K rate is throughout his minor league career, and then we also see his FIP significantly lower than his ERA. So what that tells me is that that's another way for me to say that there's probably some positive regression coming, right? Also a higher than normal home run per nine rate as well. So that's what I kind of see from there. And if you look at the BABIP here, they're saying that he's getting a little bit of the teams are getting some contact with him, contact against him, but I think it's higher than normal as well. So that's what we're talking about with negative positive regression, right? Something that you see that is out of the normal, out of the norm. And to me, I think that we're going to see that he gets a little bit better the more he goes off. But he's only had 2 starts, and a lot of these numbers are sort of like what we talked about with AD, right? The recency bias. He's coming off of a start where he gave up like 7 runs to the Padres, and prior to that, his other start, I think he only gave up one or possibly none.
It was one. Yep. He
Was it
went.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
went five against St. Louis and only gave a one run and 6 hits.
yeah, exactly. So normal bettors will look at his ERA and be like, "Damn, we're gonna fade this dude." But the thing is, not only do we see positive regression, but we see Atlanta being one of the top batting teams in the league. Right? If we look at just home runs in general, third in home runs, right? In I think where's the average here? I think it was sorry, Woba. Woba. So their Woba is high. Their X Woba is high. Everything points in the direction of them being such a solid batting team. And I don't expect them to negatively regress because of some of the metrics that we look at here. So you have a pitcher that is going to have some positive regression. We have the bats who are very good offensively, and then you look at the opposite side, and we look at towards the Marlins, who are towards the bottom of the league, right? 27 home runs altogether. If we look at their batting percentage, I think they're towards the bottom of the league as well, or middle of the pack as well here. But they're not turning into runs. So those are some of the things that I look at. If you look at the hard hit rate, those numbers, Marlins in the bottom half of the league as well. So they're just not getting a lot of impact there. So we're not expecting. I don't expect them to get a lot of runs here. I do expect the Braves to get some runs, and also, like I said, I think the fact that we expect Dodd to have positive regression, and he's facing a Marlins team who's not that great offensively. It's sort of that perfect combination of taking them at this number. If you see Marlins at -110 or the Braves at -110 or +100 or wherever you might get it, I think that's a perfect price to get them here, and that's why I took them. I took them at plus 110 yesterday. It has moved towards their direction. They might be either even or at -110 right now at your book, but I took the Braves today to get it done. I trust their offense. I trust that um, the recency bias against Dodd is probably some smoke. So that's the way that I took it. Chris is really the money line there. I can see them winning by multiple runs too. If
I
I'm
got a, I
to
got a,
be
I got a
honest,
question. I got a question.
yeah,
I see viewers may have this question as well. So if you go back to your model, and you
yeah.
talk about those teams that are listed at 4, that team total over, I see, like you said, is hitting at a pretty good clip. Would you pivot towards the team total over to stay away from anything at all in this game, or do you just like the money line
You
because you
can
guys
do
have
that. I
high?
think it was at 4.5. I think when I saw it, it was at 4.5. Let me just double check. Uh, Team total 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. But it was juice. That's the reason why I didn't take that. But I could see it happening. But I more so believe that Dodd's gonna limit the Marlins, and that's why I like them on that. Like so, even if they get 4 runs, right? Even if they do get 4 runs, you would probably see, the Marlins maybe with 2 or 3 or whatever it might be. But I definitely see the Braves get the win. I I can't. The only reason, like I said, the only reason why I didn't take the team total over is because it's juiced, right? And I can't buy half a run to make it lower. Um, but most of the things are pointing in the direction of them getting it done.
Yeah, I like it. I see the 4 just so just in case people want to look towards the team total. It is 4. It's not extremely juiced. It's only minus 124. So definitely shop around. You might be able to get a better number. Got to keep in mind that RC doesn't live in a legal gambling state. He doing all this on the low, and we sometimes, even though the dude break the games down like this, he don't even have access to the better to the best line. So he do
Yeah,
all this, and then you could if you're paying attention, you can get some game and maybe able to find a better number.
yeah. But that was pretty much the only game that I bet on today. The other thing is, um, there was just not a lot of games, and half of the games already going off, so not much to go off of today. But yeah, that was oh shit, what happened there? That's pretty much today, Chris. Anything else to add from NBA or MLB perspective? Anything to look forward to tomorrow?
Man, I want to talk about the game. I see. We won't have to do it online, but I do want to talk to you about, do Phoenix have a chance, man? It's a legacy game for KD, and
Do you have time today?
yeah, for
Because
sure.
I was on Jay's show, and before he was like, "Hey, did you look at tomorrow's games yet?" I was like, "No." Like not in depth, right? Like
Right.
I obviously I know who's playing, I know what the line is, but I didn't go into a deep analysis. But if you got time, we could just go live on it right now and just
Let's do it. Let's
all right,
do
let's
it.
do it. All right.
Yeah. So setting the table, Phoenix coming back home, must win game. You can't go down 0-3 because we know how that we know how that goes if you go down 0-3. But
Yeah.
they're coming back home, a little wounded. They already were, the worst team as far as bench, production. We know that bench typically, help a little bit at home. Role players play a little bit better. But one of the things I looked at, one of the things I know we both looked at was, as well as Denver does from home to home, they
Yeah.
typically slip a little bit when they're going from home to road and they're going from a favorite to a dog in that spot as well. So that was the first place I looked at.
Say that one more time.
So you know how we always talk about Denver going
Yeah. Oh
from
yeah.
home
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
home.
Uh-huh.
So Denver this year, when they're a previous home favorite, especially I think if they win too. So Nuggets home favorite, previous home favorite, and they win, and then they're a dog in the next spot.
Oh, just dog in general.
I think it's a way dog. Yeah, I think you were right, actually. I think it's a way
Okay.
dog.
My favorite win away dog.
Oh, never mind.
Right.
I was wrong there. Okay, maybe it's just previous home favorite, not the win. I felt like we had something on them traveling from
Traveling,
home to
right?
road.
Let's
Yeah,
just look at home to road, right? PHNA. Shit, I don't know, bro. I swear we saw. Oh, wait, hold on, my bad. There it is. Just
okay,
traveling from road to home. That's what it
okay,
was.
that's what it is. And then the other thing that jumped out to me, RC, was like I try to say, the line tells us a story. This line opened at 5, I want to say, in favor of Phoenix
Yeah.
before we had confirmation that Chris Paul was going to be ruled out. That moved the line to a point and a half without Chris Paul, who will miss this game. He's going to miss game 4 as well. So thinking that the line tells me a story, I looked at uh, I looked at teams that won their last game Their first two games. Hold on, I'm gonna just drop this in the chat so you
Yeah,
can
drop
see
that
it.
in the chat. It might be easier.
Oh. So thinking that the line tells us a story, I see. This is what I looked at earlier when I first started this game.
All right, so for number one seed,
With
series wins equals
they're
two.
they're
So
up they're up two games in game three, but
yeah,
they're on the road as a dog in that game. And you can see that those teams don't necessarily they don't play
god
as
damn,
well.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, man, I feel like Denver could, I feel like Denver could still win RC, but it's gonna be hard, right? We talk about motivation, right? A lot of things went against Denver. A lot of things went against Phoenix as well in the last game. I think a lot of people argue that they didn't get foul calls, even though they always complaining for foul calls.
Yeah,
Um, and then on the Denver side, Jamal Murray didn't shoot the ball well. Michael Porter Jr. still didn't shoot the ball well. So they could have some regression as well for some of their guys, some positive regression for their guys as well. Jokic continues to be Jokic. I think it's going to be about effort.
yeah.
It's crazy. I see. I don't know what you think about. What you thinking, man?
Shit, I didn't look at this at all, but it makes a lot of sense.
Super desperation spot, right?
Super desperation spot.
So RC
The
add.
other thing, so
I
if I
think I might have added like if this seed is a one seed as well, like because we
yeah, right
know.
here, this is seed one, right?
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, I
Yeah, yeah,
just want
yeah.
to make sure that was in there. Okay, so these are one seeds, best seeds in the conference.
Yeah, and that's why I brought in round two, right? Because I was gonna see, obviously in round one they're playing one of the weaker teams, right? So
Mhm.
it would probably be like a large spread, but it also shows in that the straight up perspective too. So most of these games are after round one.
Mhm.
So I just did that, and then we look at it. So round one, there's only three games. Round two, a lot more instances. 2-9 straight up, 2-8-1 against the spread. Gets even crazier in round three, 1-6, 1-6.
So can we go to round two real quick, RC?
Yeah.
I want to see what the average line is. 3.9. Okay, so that's very similar to what we got tomorrow.
Look at that first quarter. First quarter. Oh shit.
I mean,
First
that's got to
quarter.
be it, right? Like if you
Yeah.
don't win the first quarter, then you kind of out back, right?
Yeah. Well,
First half
look at
too.
that first half under
Hmm.
angle.
For Denver Nuggets team total, some regression for them.
The other thing though, Chris, don't isn't aren't the Suns without Chris Paul a little bit quicker? Shit,
Yeah,
let me get
their pace picked up a little bit for sure.
oh, there's some. Hold on, let me. Chris Nieto dropped a query. Let's look at that real quick.
Okay. Playoffs and series game equals 3, and previous margin was less than 5. So you lost by 5. You won by more than 5, and you're a home
Oh,
favorite.
that's ATS margin. Hold on.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You did you
Minus.
cover
All right.
you didn't cover by no you covered by at least 5, right?
They failed to cover by at least 5 points.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So game three, right? Game three of the series. They're winless, so they're down 0-2. Now they're the home favorite, and they covered the previous game or they failed to cover by at least 5.
And you don't have any wins at all in the series?
No wins in the series. Yeah, series is 0. So the points towards the Suns. So another angle towards the Suns there. And the line keeps going to the Nuggets, huh? Because like you
Yep.
said, it was at 5 and it keeps going towards the Nuggets.
Yeah,
I
but
think. Do you think?
it changed a little bit when Chris Paul got ruled out because they hadn't really stated whether he was going to play or not before the line. The line like instantly comes out the next game. So then when
Yeah.
they went, so when it was at 5, and then as soon as he got ruled out, you see the money start coming in. When you wake up in the morning, it's down to 3.5 already.
Look at that. A cluster of unders here too.
I mean, you got to think that if Phoenix going to be able to do it, especially already offensively limited, it's going to have to be with their defense, right? Which they did play really good defense in the last game. That first quarter and first half team total keep coming up under, don't it, RC?
Let's look at more recent years, just because like sometimes the numbers are so off from like previous years.
Historical data, like
Yeah,
all of it included. Yeah, I agree.
just do 2018. I like using 2018. All right, so still pointing that direction. That first quarter, the first half under is still pretty apparent. Like Dude, look how how far under these go. It's just hella crazy,
The average under is by 30 points.
bruh. Hey, that one,
Three
two,
straight
three.
unders of at least 20.
Suns. All right, so this is pointing towards the Suns, right?
Shout
Suns
out
to
to
cover,
Chris.
and then pointing towards the under.
Full game under for sure. Did the total drop, RC? What's the
I
total?
feel
I
like
know
that
it's
first half, they're just under trifecta and shit.
yeah, I know it's 227, right? That's what it opened at in game one and game two. First game flew over. Well, it didn't fly over. First game went over. Second game went under. This total is lower too. It's 225 is what I see. What do you see?
Uh,
I think we still
so,
take the under
oh shit, I'm gonna look at
team
team
total.
totals.
Yeah, so it's
Two
225.
twenty. I might take it now because
I think
Circa
I'm gonna
has
take
a
it now too.
224.
Yeah, I
So
see a 225. I'm putting that in now too. It just makes sense to me.
we're just placing bets while we do the show.
Sometimes you gotta do it like that. I see.
Hold on. There's no way I'm gonna miss it. 224.
Because you got to think this line gonna continue to move after the
Yeah.
game tonight before tomorrow. So yeah, if you guys liking what you see, man, go ahead and put it in as well.
Yeah, I'm able to get 224 and a half. You got 225? Damn.
No, I didn't get 220. Hold on. Yeah, I do got 225. Yeah, it's only half a point. I see. It'll be all right, man.
Yeah.
The rate these games going under, it might be 100 to 103.
You just sell some points. You just sell some points, get some or like outline and shit.
Outline, yeah. And real quick for my VA people and people who have access to Hard Rock, they got an under 225 and a half too. So I'm playing that one too.
All right, so the under there, and then dude, if it keeps going towards Denver, I'm just gonna wait. We see a 3.5 here at bookmaker.
Mm-hmm.
If it keeps, I know it sucks because I mean, does it really suck though? Because campaign is back. They're gonna.
Can he do anything though? See, I think he shot 1 for 7 and had 2 points in the last game. You got to
Yeah, but I
expect some
think isn't
aggression
that
from
his
him at
first full
home,
game
right?
back though? Wasn't that
It
his first
was.
full game back?
It
Because
was.
he
And
only played
have
like
a
3
bigger
minutes in
role.
the other game.
He gonna have a much bigger role tomorrow, especially without Chris Paul. And I did see the reports from Monty saying that all hands are on deck, and Terrence Ross and T.J. Warren, those guys could potentially get minutes. They haven't seen minutes in this series yet, but they could get minutes as well.
Yeah. All right, Chris Paul. Why does it look weird? Wait, Chris minutes equals 0. Season equals.
You
Oh,
didn't hit the submit button.
it wasn't. All right, so I was like, why does that look so funny? All right, so Chris Paul this season 14-9 to the over, but let's look at after the All-Star break. Because the depth is pretty much gone after that.
Mm-hmm.
2-0 to the over. So Lakers and the Clippers.
They caught the Lakers on the second leg of a back to back, and
They
then
both. So
I was gonna say
they
both
were
of
on the
them.
second leg of back to back, and then
Uh-huh.
that
Mm-hmm.
is not very. It's not similar at all.
Nah.
Okay. Can't use that.
Yeah, let's see if I can find something real quick.
All right, Nuggets. Let's look at throughout the years in the playoffs. It was 1 and traveling from home. And they've been covering in recent games, going over too.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 2019. Oops. And these totals were kind of low before. Now they're going over 20. So they don't got no defense. Warriors, sort of, they did. Wolves got no defense. I don't know, dude. I still like it. Do you think? Do you know?
What's that, the under?
Yeah, the under. I mean, we already took it, so I don't
I was
care.
about to say, I played the under. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you see anything from a side perspective though? I feel like I got. I feel like I want to take the Suns later,
Me
but
too.
the line keeps going down.
Well, actually, it came back up because
What was
because
it?
it was 3.5. Remember, I told you it opened at 5. It went down to 3.5 when Chris Paul got ruled out. Now it's come back
Mhm.
up to 4.
Yeah.
So I mean, that to me that tells me that
Wait, it came
Phoenix is
down
on
to
the
three
right
and a
track.
half, or what?
No, yeah, it came, so it opened at 5 as soon as the game ended,
Oh, it
and
came down
then
to three, going back
yeah,
to four. Okay.
when Monty said that Chris Paul was ruled out, it came all the way down to 3.5. Now it's back up to 4.
I didn't even know that. I thought
Uh
it went straight to four and just stayed there.
huh.
Okay, so it's already coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to take the Suns, dude.
Me too. Me too. I feel like it's the only way I can look. At least early, right, RC? Like I
Yeah,
think everything that we talked about, at least showed that they could. We don't have to play full game, but it
yeah,
showed that they come out with a sense of urgency. First quarter, first half,
yeah.
one or two, or both, or
The team total first half on the Nuggets side to go under
under,
too. Man,
under.
those
Yeah,
those look legit.
yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
so what I wrote down
Those
for this
numbers,
one, well,
those
I
numbers
already
up
took the full
already.
game under.
I see
Let
those
me
numbers
see.
up.
Huh?
Those numbers up. The first quarter, first half team total
Not
for
not
the.
on mine. Not on mine. You probably got it.
What about Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant like here though. Like are they up on Wichita?
Oh, here
Yeah. What we got?
team totals.
Yeah, team totals. First
Team
quarter,
totals
first full
28.
game.
28 open, 28 consensus.
Okay. Denver 30. Yeah, so I'm thinking that goes under, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team total, or are you talking about the combined?
I think both.
You think
Like
so?
I still think Phoenix struggles to score. I mean, they only got 2 scores. It's either Chris Paul, I mean, it's either Devin Booker or KD.
I think I trust the.
You trust the
I feel like
Suns defense?
I feel like I trust the Nuggets to go under more than in this first quarter. Because this is a scenario where Booker and KD can go off, right? Where they could just go off in this first quarter. They can go over their team total themselves. I think to start off the game, and then the longer the game goes, if the Suns do take, just kind of like what we talked about today, right? If the game gets out of hand, we're probably not going to see a lot of scoring in the second half of the game, so it stays under.
You think they got enough RC to get this game to go? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Denver was already before the series started. Like, people were fading Phoenix not because of them having a whole bunch of superstars, but more so their lack of depth. So now
Yeah,
you take out Chris Paul, and they even like that's a big piece because now you're relying on campaign to be a good decision maker, get everybody else involved. Not in the way
yeah.
Paul can, because of course you can't necessarily replicate that, but you think they, have a chance to actually win the game and cover the spread? I would think that the spread be like 2.5.
Can we do this without Chris?
Probably not. It'd be nice if we did. Probably try to charge us $50.
Um, okay. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just feel like it could be probably a scenario where we take half, right? We do that half thing again, half on the full, half on the Lakers. The Nuggets team total under. Well, at least we got one play there. Um,
Honestly, that might be all I play for real. I just kind of feel like Denver could come in here and like really have something to prove. And this is a short-handed Suns team, man. Like if they lost without Chris Paul,
yeah.
you'd be like, dang, that sucks. Like, Jokic on the other end, he don't care. He don't care.
If they
Chris Paul
if
missed.
they lose game three, I think I'm gonna smash. I think they get swept. I think
Potentially,
that
yeah.
ends up happening.
Think
Um,
about this, RC, real quick before we get off here. Think about
yeah,
this from Jokic's perspective. The last 2 years, this dude has won MVP because he hasn't had Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. You think he cares that Chris Paul got hurt and messed up his hamstring again? Absolutely not. He coming in there to kill DeAndre Ayton,
Yeah.
Bismack Biyombo, KD, and whoever else.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I don't think he got no sympathy for him.
Makes sense to me. Do you wanna touch the last game then? The Sixers.
Okay, yeah. Now this is
Damn, what
gonna
am
be an
I?
interesting one.
Now what
RC,
am
we
I
didn't
gonna
talk
do
about this
tomorrow?
one.
All right,
I don't know. We talk about a little more in depth. Maybe we do some more homework on it.
All right,
Um,
let's go.
that game, I think it's it's 1.5, right? I see. Is it line 1.5 for Philly in Game 3?
Yeah, they're the home dogs. I think. Let me just.
Yeah, I thought so. 1.5, right? You still on Team Talk?
Shit.
Oh no, you're not.
Hold on. Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah, I
Philly's the
think I
home
like
dog.
the money line for Boston. I see. I think I like the money line, man. I just kind of feel like and they not the blowout loss. You don't want to necessarily fade the team that got blown out in the last game. They're gonna be in a hostile environment in Philly, all that good
Yeah,
stuff. I just when it comes down to it, we talked about this yesterday. I think we did.
yeah,
Boston, they had to run Embiid, and they talked about it after the game. So we hit that one right on the head, with the nail on the head with that one. You have to run Embiid when you know he's not 100%. I think everybody who watched the game yesterday, could kind of tell that he wasn't in rhythm. Even playing those few minutes that he played yesterday, he's still not 100%. So I think Boston has to. They've already lost the home court advantage, so you got to be able to go in and get that home court advantage back, in my estimation. What you think, guys? Oh, never mind. That query tells me all I need to see. 24-9. I like it.
24-9. Yeah. So it happened. So here's another scenario, though, Chris. Wait. Was Giannis in this game? No, he wasn't. Okay, that makes more sense now.
What is this again? I see. It's when you lose the first one,
All
win
right,
the second
so yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh, okay.
this is playoffs, first game loss. Wait, I didn't do. Hold on. All right, so 21-9. So if it's game three, game three here. First game one, the home favorite loss. Game two, home favorite win, and then now they're the road favorite. 21-9, 19-10. We look at more recent. So let's just say it's season. Is Tatum really gonna get suspended? I haven't seen anything about it.
Absolutely not.
10-1 straight up, 8-2-1 against the spread. The last two instances. So Suns. This is this year, Chris. So more recent, specifically this year, haven't covered yet. But prior to that, it was doing really well. Don't know how to take that.
The Suns were laying a big number though. RC like 7.5,
So they
and
ended up. All right. So
and the other one was without Giannis. I think this straight
this
up
one
for
was
me is good
without
enough.
Giannis. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Suns were laying a big number. Clippers weren't going to go down without swinging. I think you just bet the money line right now before the line moves.
This didn't have Kawhi either, and that's why the line moved. And Norman Powell went for 42. I remember that shit now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not consistent with
Outlier.
what we would normally see,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um all right, let's see. Chris in the chat brought up another one. Let's see what he got. The other one was really good too.
It was. Appreciate you, Chris.
Series game equals 3.
I was just about to ask
P
you about the money
margin
line.
-9. Hold on. I don't know if that's right. P margin -9. Maybe less than 9. Let's just see. Less than -9. And HD and series wins. Series wins equals. I think I did that right. I was doing that thing, Chris, where it slows down. It's like that sign again.
Yeah, sign that we've been doing the show for too long. We just trying to find some winners.
What's wrong with that? All right, come on, man.
I hit trim mark. I copy and paste the RC, and then like I copy it, and
Yeah.
then I hit trim mark at the top, and then I just hit the back button, and then I paste it, like I
There
highlight it
you
again
go.
and paste it,
What the fuck?
and then it
Okay.
worked.
So this point says this is almost like the opposite of what we just looked at too. I think.
Oh man, you gotta be kidding me, dog.
So it's basically the other way, but Celtics on the opposite side, right? Because we looked at it from the Celtics as the team instead of the opponent. It's very similar to this.
So that supports the Celtics as well.
It supports the Celtics, yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's pretty much it's almost the same
Same
query.
query. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to get them to get the home court advantage back. I see.
I wonder if punt is on the Celtics
He got to be at a money line against the hobbled Embiid.
on the road though. All right, let's look at
Celtics play well on the road in the playoffs. I see.
Let's see. Okay, let's look at that real quick. So we'll say season greater than or equal to 2018 and team Celtics and PH and A. Oops, I forgot to put playoffs.
I don't know how. I think it is dependent upon if they're coming off a win or a loss.
Damn it. If this works every time, that's hella funny. Oh shit!
I do it all the time.
Oh
I do it all the time. I see.
It does work. All right, so traveling from home to road in the playoffs, 10-8 straight up, 11-7 against the spread. What if there's a favorite?
I think home loss matters too. I see Celtics like we always talked about them needing to get punched in the mouth. I think that punch in the mouth in game one was enough. I don't think they need to go down 1-2 in order to feel like they want to fight back. What was your initial thought process? I see like before looking at any SDQL based on them winning the last game, based on seeing him be the way he was yesterday. Harden kind of coming back down to earth.
I think it's thinking? I was thinking true zigzag. I think it's a true zigzag here. I think they do get it back. I also think that the line is pretty telling that they're the favorite on the road in this scenario as well, right? And we talked a little bit about it too, about how the Celtics just match up a little bit better against the Sixers with Embiid on the court. They just built that way, right? They're not built to play against a what you call it, a like a smaller team, like small ball team. I don't think, in my opinion, and you kind of saw that against the Warriors and stuff like that too. That's just my opinion. So it makes a lot of sense that the Celtics do win and cover this one here. It's that zigzag. I think it's gonna be a true zigzag in this series. Are you gonna take it? Are you gonna take the Celtics?
Yes, I am. I'm probably going. I'm probably just doing the money line. Yeah, if it's 1.5, it's probably -130. I just feel like that way you don't got to worry about them winning by 1 or 2 points, but they should be able to win this possession by 2. -120, I see, is what I see the money line at right now for Boston. If people want to jump in early, I know it's only when is this? Oh, this game's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. The same with.
I don't think I realized that. I thought we was like all the way into Sunday already.
No. That's why I was like, you want to do tomorrow because it's tomorrow's game anyways.
So also RC. So we didn't. I hadn't thought about that. Taking into consideration, the rest. Tatum only played 19 minutes, had 7 points in the last game. Joel Embiid, who probably should have rested last night, it's a quicker turnaround for him as well. As far as recovery process, that only makes me like Boston a little bit more. What you think about that?
19 minutes. That's because he got hurt and came back, right?
No. He was in foul trouble, and then
it was the other game that I was talking about.
Yeah. He was in foul trouble. He got in foul trouble in the third, at the beginning of the third, and then that's when Malcolm Brogdon hit all those threes. He had three threes in a
Didn't
row.
someone get injured in the last game and then come back? Was that Marcus Smart?
Yeah, Marcus Smart. It was his shoulder. It was his shoulder. Yeah. So, but with Tatum, I see he they went to when he went to the bench. That's when they went on a run. He never had to come back in for the rest of the game. They just didn't need him in the fourth quarter when they pulled the rest of the starters out.
Makes sense to me. I think Celtics is the way to go. Let's just look at.
I was gonna say how let's look at how the Celtics play in Philly this year. I know Tatum hit the game winner in one of those games.
Yeah, they covered every single game.
In Philly, right?
Huh?
In Philly, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let's go team equals Celtics. If we look at this season alone, they covered every single game in the regular season. So they ended up losing this one, but they did cover the line.
Oh, that was the game that they didn't need to win. I think they rested a few players, and Joel Embiid was going for the MVP.
Yeah.
It was one of those late.
Brown was out.
Yeah.
Brown was out, and Robert Williams was out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what that was. And Joel Embiid had a big game, right?
52.
Yeah. Yep.
And they still only won by 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4 points, whatever it was. Went under too. So every game that Embiid plays, the Celtics have covered.
And gone under.
Except for that first one. But that was in October.
That was the first game of the season.
Yeah,
for both teams. Yeah, it was 18.
I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think Celtics on the money line right now, minus 120. Just go ahead and get it out the way.
Money line. Nothing on the total? I feel like under is still the way to go.
Absolutely. I think it's under or nothing. Absolutely. We can look at that too, I see, right? Total 214. So the total is lower than the previous total
in the series.
Mm-hmm. So like, what is this? That's yeah. So total is less than previous total.
Did it go down from the first game too?
Let's see. So the first game, yeah, absolutely went down from the first game, right? Had to, because the first game didn't have Embiid. Well, no, it might have went up. I think the first game they were expecting defense and no defense was played. Remember, you was on Philly team total over in that spot in game one, and they won outright.
Yeah, that's right. What am I doing here? Oh, fuck! I got Sixers. That's why. What am I doing wrong, Chris? All right, so we got total. Oh, I got it the opposite.
Yeah, that's all you do wrong. Yeah. There we
go. So 24, 34, and 2 to the under since 2018. It looks kind of even this season.
Yeah, I think if you just factor in the pace, and the defensive intensity that the Celtics are capable of playing with, they can, like Embiid really slows down the pace a lot. Even more support, 66%.
Yeah.
If the last one went under, and that's a lot of unders right there in a row. RC, what if we just looked at that from like 2021? Like this.
You know what? I'm looking at series game equals 3 specifically. You want to take that out and see what it's just like when that happens?
Nope. I say no. The reason why I say no. The reason why I say no, I see, is because teams adjust to each other.
The travel period, like going from home to road to home or whatever.
It just like you just know what they're gonna do. So you're liable to see a lot more unders as the series goes on.
Look at the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter under
50. Yep.
I like this under, dude. I like this under.
I like the under too.
Makes sense
under
to me.
214.
This one went over because of OT. This one went into 4 overtimes. The fuck?
Who is that?
Nuggets and Blazers.
Trailblazers and the Nuggets.
They really did go 4 OTs.
They must have had 70.
All right, so Celtics under.
Celtics money line under, and I think that fourth quarter under too. I see. I like.
Shit, it's
Even if
already
I just
going
put a
down two
quarter unit.
again, Chris.
Dang, we already missing the best of number.
All right, if I can
Bet
get two
online got a
fourteen, I'm taking
214 and
it.
a half though.
All right, so shit, I got 214. Two, yeah. These unders all over the place.
Yeah, the series starting to get. They starting to get. High leverage, high pressure type moments. I see.
So I've only taken the unders so far. I think I'm gonna wait on the because it looks like if the line's going in the opposite direction, I feel like I'm just gonna wait it out and see what happens.
You think it's gonna keep going in favor of Philly?
Well, it looks like it's going down to -1.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a it could be maybe it gets down to pick because I think a lot of people are gonna be like, man, Philly is dogs at home. It's gonna be crazy. I think we might see more movement tomorrow. We've
That's
seen
true.
a lot of late movement. Like we saw a late movement today,
Mm-hmm.
or like
That's true.
last night and into today, right? Because this was at
Mm-hmm.
-5,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're seeing at 6.5.
That's
And it
true.
was, I think it was, I swear it was 5.5 for a long period of time last night. So a lot of the movement came this morning. So if that's the same scenario, then I think there might be some movement again tomorrow.
The Lakers getting smashed tonight, so that the other game more of a pick 'em.
All right, Chris, we went a full hour here. Let's drop the your top looks for today's games at least.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I see. So let's start with going back to the game, the only game we have for tonight. I talked about this yesterday. I see. I put in, or at least I told you about it. I put in a money line parlay that included both home favorites in game two, not to go down 0-2. So I got Boston and I got, I had Boston last night to go with Golden State on the money line. So I need that to cash, which is why I didn't lay the points today with Golden State. But I did put a quarter unit on the first quarter, -1.5 for Golden State. The first half, -3.5 for Golden State. And then the player props, I also went quarter unit. AD under 42.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah,
And Wiggins to go over his 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So all four of those are quarter unit plays. And then I did play a half unit as well on the under 227. I do think that the game goes under, the full game goes under,
makes sense
but
to me.
couldn't talk anybody off for the team total because I don't think the Lakers get to their team total either.
Yeah. So I played the first quarter under again, and looking towards the Warriors side, pretty much trifecta in my opinion. I think tonight's the night. I think we're gonna see a similar situation as yesterday. Um, so those would be the ways that I go in that game there. I don't know if I'm gonna touch the player prop because I already got some stuff on in baseball, so I don't want to lay too much. Um, and then we already took the two unders for tomorrow, so good to go. Go there. We'll see if I don't know if I might just stick with those unders to be honest. I don't know. I'm kind of scared about the sides on both of those games there. If anything, if I was to choose a side, either on either one of those games tomorrow, I think I'm more confident on the Phoenix side than
The Boston
Boston.
side.
Yeah.
I think I'm the opposite, actually. I think
Really?
I'm a lock in
Ah,
Boston.
damn.
Yeah, I think Boston can win on the road. I think Phoenix is in a more desperate spot. Like I will say that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just without Chris Paul, man, like those role players really gonna have to step up and show me something. Devin Booker and Chris Paul. I mean, Devin Booker and KD. I feel like could both go for 45, and that's only 90 points. Who else is going
Yeah.
to chip in and give you anything? I know it's a legacy type game for them. And I think that they do win, but I don't know. That one scares me a little bit more. I see what I saw from Boston last night feels like
We got that injured player theory too though.
that's
You know what I
true.
mean?
That is
So
true. That is
everybody
true.
stepping up and at home. We know the role players step up at home
That's
typically.
true.
So
That's true. You know what? I'm gonna take both. I see. You talked me into it. I'll take both. I forgot about the injured player theory, man. Give me a break, man.
yeah. I can't believe that shit works in the playoffs, to be honest. I think that's really stupid, but it
Yeah.
does.
Even
It
with
does.
Kawhi. Yeah.
All right, well, that's the end of the show, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you guys catch Chris's Spaces here in a couple of hours there. You can find my work over on Twitter, Youcapper Sports, or on wagertalk.com now. And then Chris B. Cappin, obviously, you see his Twitter tag right down there. Chris B. Cappin. Next, I think I don't know. Chris, you can be on tomorrow's show?
Yeah, I think my schedule allows for so. Yeah.
Okay, and then we might have A Wang back tomorrow as well. So have and then we'll see who else can show up. But other than that, and then that, guys, always got to end the show like this. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you guys to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next time, peace.